Elvis Presley's life is the stuff of legend. That being said, the singer led a life plagued by scandals, including allegations of racism, sexual misconduct, and infidelity. After his death, it seems his problems only continued for his family. Here are the biggest scandals in Elvis Presley's family. With that face, that voice, and those hips, Elvis Presley could have enjoyed the attention of almost any grown woman on the planet. However, it was a 14-year-old girl who stole his heart. And well, that's pretty weird. Presley served with Priscilla Presley's father in the U.S. Army in West Germany, and they first met at a party in 1959 when Priscilla was 14 and Elvis was 24. She recalled to People that her parents initially forbade her from seeing the star, but eventually allowed Elvis to court her, at which point her grades dropped dramatically and she revolved her entire life around the singer. Elvis tried to mold her into the woman he wanted her to be, down to telling her to wear more eye makeup. Priscilla also wore her mother's clothes to look older so that no one would suspect him of being with someone so young. In a 2016 interview with Loose Women, Priscilla explained what it was like to be married to Elvis.
I mean, you lived his life. You honestly didn't have your own life. You lived his life.
Priscilla wasn't the only young teen that Elvis Presley reportedly romped around with. In the book Elvis Presley, A Southern Life, author Joel Williamson alleges that Presley had a group of 3 14-year-old girls whom he would inappropriately engage with while at Graceland, ranging from tickling, wrestling, pillow fighting, and kissing. One of the girls, Frances Forbes, told the Daily Mail, "He didn't pay any attention to me when I was 13, but when I was 14, he noticed me." 14 was a magical age with Elvis. It really was. According to Williamson, in 1954, Presley cheated on 15-year-old girlfriend Dixie Locke with a fan. The Daily Mail also reported that when Presley was performing in Florida in 1956, 14-year-old fan Jackie Rowland's mother found Presley kissing Rowland, quote, in a grown-up way. Additionally, after Presley split from wife Priscilla, he is accused of pursuing another teen girl. In Alana Nash's book Baby Let's Play House, Elvis and the Women Who Loved Him, she writes that Presley moved on with a 14-year-old girl named Rika Smith. Prior to meeting Priscilla, Elvis, who was already one of the most famous people in the world, had quite the active sex life. However, the rock icon basically forbade Priscilla from doing the same until after they tied the knot. While he had rumored dalliances with Nancy Sinatra and other stars during their courtship, he refused to consummate his relationship with Priscilla until their wedding night. As the Daily Mail reports, her perceived purity was integral for him to maintain his attraction to her. In a piece for People penned by Priscilla, she claimed that they conceived daughter Lisa Marie on their honeymoon, and that after Lisa Marie's birth, Elvis had no sexual interest in her anymore. She also claimed that when she was 7 months pregnant, Elvis suggested a trial separation, but changed his mind within days. For as much as Elvis was obsessed with virginal women, he certainly didn't limit his own behavior at all. In Elvis Presley, A Southern Life, author Joel Williamson reported that Elvis installed two-way mirrors in his homes to spy on party guests having sex and women undressing. Elvis Presley wasn't the only cheater in his marriage, however. After Elvis stopped being intimate with Priscilla following the birth of their daughter, Lisa Marie, she understandably sought satisfaction elsewhere. In a 1985 interview with Barbara Walters, Priscilla explained that her relationship with Elvis was more of a father-daughter companionship as opposed to a functional marriage. Priscilla says she turned to hobbies to keep herself busy while Elvis worked and entertained other women. She took karate lessons from stuntman and martial arts expert Mike Stone and eventually had an affair with him. Ultimately, Priscilla's lack of an intimate life with Elvis reached a tipping point. In 1972, she told Elvis she was having an affair with Stone and wanted to end their marriage, sending Elvis into a rage. She went on to date Stone, during which they enjoyed various hobbies together. Despite the bitter ending of their marriage, Priscilla and Elvis remained close friends until his death in 1977. In August 1977, Elvis's girlfriend, Ginger Alden, found him dead in their bathroom, specifically and infamously on the floor in a locked position that indicated he had fallen to the ground while sitting on the toilet. The king was just 42 years old. The singer had grown overweight and was long dependent on several prescription drugs, including opiates, tranquilizers, sleeping pills, and hormones. People reported that he'd been prescribed nearly 12,000 pills within less than 2 years before his death. Quaaludes and various opiates were reportedly found in his system after his death, creating a perfect storm for a heart attack. The singer also suffered chronic constipation, a common side effect of opiates, so he frequently abused laxatives as well. The circumstances of his untimely passing were, of course, humiliating, but actually aren't too uncommon. Straining to defecate can put real pressure on the aorta and heart, and is likely what ultimately killed him. Presley's personal physician, Dr. Nicolas, was accused of overprescribing drugs to Presley, as well as singer Jerry Lee Lewis, for years. Dr. Nick insisted he was being careful and that he often gave Presley placebos in an effort to quell his addictions, and that the reason he gave him prescription drugs was to prevent him from buying them on the street. He also said the high volume of pills was because he prescribed them not just for Presley himself, but for his entourage. Priscilla Presley was and still is a great beauty, but her efforts to preserve her stunning good looks backfired in a major way. While competing on Dancing with the Stars, viewers noticed that Presley's face looked extremely puffy and taut. We learned why eventually. As it turns out, Priscilla was a patient and victim of Dr. Jiffy Lube Serrano, who injected several high-profile women with industrial-grade silicone often used in auto parts, not body parts. According to TMZ, the women held injection parties at their homes for what Serrano called the, quote, miracle drug, which cost them between $300 and $500 per vial. For perspective, the Wall Street Journal reported that around the same period, Botox treatments cost between $500 and $2,000, while other fillers would set one back about $300 to $400 per syringe. That said, these women should have known the price was too good to be true. Serrano's victims alleged that they suffered lumps, craters, and even paralysis in their faces after his procedures. He eventually pleaded guilty to conspiracy, smuggling, and using unapproved drugs, and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. A rep for Presley told the Daily Mail, Priscilla Presley was one of many documented victims of Dr. Daniel Serrano. An investigation which uncovered his misconduct ultimately led to his imprisonment. Ms. Presley dealt with this matter years ago, and everything is now well. In 1994, Lisa Marie Presley married Michael Jackson. Presley told Rolling Stone that they met through a mutual friend, and she said that he insisted the pervasive rumors about him, namely the allegations that he sexually abused children, weren't true, and that the pop icon was misunderstood. According to Lisa Marie, this made her into a, quote, lioness who wanted to protect him. Many speculated that the whirlwind marriage was Jackson's attempt to rehabilitate his own image, but both Jackson and Presley at the time insisted their love was genuine, even discussing their intimate lives in the press. However, Presley later told Rolling Stone that their marriage got, quote, really ugly at the end, noting that their infamous kiss at the 1994 MTV Video Music Awards was a, quote, gimmick and not her idea. Lisa Marie added, I know that it looks very timely for him in retrospect. The record was coming out, that other stuff was happening, and I was too caught up in it all. Presley and Jackson divorced in 1996. Shortly after her divorce from Michael Jackson, Lisa Marie Presley met Nicolas Cage. They dated for 2 years and tied the knot in August 2002, but divorced by November of that same year. She told Larry King Live in 2003 of the relationship, similar situations, similar backgrounds. So we connected. We had a great connection. We were both we're sort of these gypsy-spirited, tyrannical pirates. And one pirate marries another, they will sink the ship, basically is what it comes down to. She added that the media's portrayal of Cage's alleged obsession with Elvis frustrated them both because it denigrated Cage from Academy Award-winning actor to a fanboy.
I saw this beautiful girl, I saw Lisa, and
not Elvis.
No.
Not Elvis's daughter.
No.
Lisa Marie told Larry King, Cage was in the tabloids, and there was all this Elvis fascination and Elvis obsession, and I said, I can't believe they are actually pulling it off with you now, too. Still, the former couple remained close friends, with Presley saying she still adores the Con Air star. Tragically, Lisa Marie Presley battled some of the same demons as her father and struggled with substance abuse throughout her adult life. In June 2019, she opened up about her opioid addiction in the book The United States of Opioids, a prescription for liberating a nation in pain, writing, "I was recovering after the 2008 birth of my daughters, Vivian and Finley, when a doctor prescribed me opioids for pain. It only took a short-term prescription of opioids in the hospital for me to feel the need to keep taking them." Presley previously admitted to abusing drugs and alcohol in a 2017 court deposition from her divorce from musician Michael Lockwood after 10 years of marriage. In a bitter custody battle over their young twins, Lockwood accused her of abusing opioids and cocaine, while Presley accused Lockwood of having inappropriate photos of children on his electronic devices. Lockwood denied the allegations, but the couple's twins were temporarily placed in the custody of Priscilla Presley. People reported that it's not uncommon for a third party to maintain custody in similar situations. Priscilla maintained custody of the girls for 9 months, and an investigation ultimately cleared Lockwood without any charges. Presley was ordered to pay Lockwood $100,000 in legal fees.
I don't discuss religion, politics, or ex-husbands.
Something else was revealed by Lisa Marie Presley's divorce from Michael Lockwood: her depressing financial state. In a February 2017 filing obtained by the Associated Press, Presley revealed that she was $16 million in debt, primarily composed of credit card bills and back taxes. In her filing, Presley said she gets $100,000 of monthly inheritance, plus a $4,300 salary and health insurance through Elvis's estate, as well as a 15% stake in Elvis Presley Enterprises through a trust. A year later, Presley sued her financial manager, Barry Siegel, for allegedly squandering her $100 million fortune from Elvis Presley Enterprises until she was left with just $14,000. In documents obtained by The Blast, Presley alleged that Siegel sold 85% of her interests on a slew of risky and poor investments, then scrambled to liquidate her assets to replenish the income from her trust. She also accused Siegel of using her trust to purchase a $9 million home in England, then nearly blowing all of her cash when he couldn't make the mortgage payments on the property. For his part, Siegel alleged that Presley was responsible for her financial situation because of her own overspending. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.